Hello guys, sorry for the previous slide. So let's talk about again about Bitcoin and Ethereum again. If you can see right here on the previous, we're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. How is it going? So first of all, we're going to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum. We're going to talk about Ethereum. You can see right here, the prices are changing. You can see right here in Ethereum, there's a risk getting wrecked bullish Ethereum update. Loan increase chain link introduce a new interoperability protocol and so on. Finally, roll out an even layer. So, Ethereum icon participate sending Ethereum to a chain queue with bands. A chain the Gulf country crack is downsizing to infamous FATF, which is name is and neighbor continue to embrace. How this could have a profound impact on the crypto market. Great highs incoming, Federal Reserve and European Central Bank prepare to raise interest to rate multi-decade. High investor and I think the Bank of Japan position everything you need to know. And a closer look at last week performing all this and more in just a moment. This seemed to have been because there were no significant crypto or macro factor that caused the market so definitely pump up or dump or quiet on the western front. In other words, interesting. Major stock in DC saw a slight decline over the last week. Now, the highly correlated tech has decreased over the last few weeks. The good news is dip in the doesn't cause the crypto market to crash as much as the bad news is this thing mean that a rally in the Nasdaq doesn't cause the crypto market to explode as much as it used to. Either even or news is that a weaker correlation crypto. It become much harder to keep track on the crypto market. This means you be focused on the crypto factor, which are much more predictable. It's easy to forget that crypto industry is still dealing with the fallout from FTAs. If you watch digital currency group, you will know that they could go break if they don't creditors soon. Now, to be clear, we have also been getting somewhat good news on the regulatory front, namely in the recent ruling in case Ripple. Even so, it appears that SEC is planning to appear, and what's frustrating is that it's not entirely clear how this appears. It will be affect the crypto market. As often the case, absent any persistent steady price action and generally widespread spectrum about little that is getting on over the last few days. there has been a lot of speculation that an unknown whale is close to being liquidated, usually evidence. For this theory, in that phase, BTC seemed to be refusing that 29.8 mark. Obviously, this could simply be a consequence of unknown whale accumulating. This could be unknown whale accumulating. Uh, Possibly it's one of those asset manager who recently filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. That said, there is no denying that there's a lot of leverage in the crypto. This is evidenced by the record high supply of USDT in circulation. For reference, USDT is primarily used for leverage trading. So USDT at all-time high tells us there's a lot of leverage out there somewhere. When you combine these apparently high level on leverage with low market liquidity in historically low level BTC and Ethereum exchange received for an aggressive move to the upside, the downside, the direction price go depends on the again very uncertain in theory. This weak rate high by major central bank could be catalyst in practice. However, crypto response to this rate high has been muted lately, and investors seem to have fully priced and the hike. This means that certainly will be something else, and likely crypto. If this catalyst is bearish, we could see a series of casting liquidation scheme we saw earlier this month and double-digit correction. If this catalyst is bullish, BTC could break up to another yearly high, likewise driven by the liquidation in crypto trades batting against the market. So be vigilant. And if you think more people need to know this info, make a like, smash the like button to the live. For now, another fascinating thing that occurred over the last week was a sudden decline in Ethereum dominance. When you combine this with the similar decline in Bitcoin dominance, it suggests that speculated crypto investors are slowly but surely starting to accumulate capital altcoin. This is particularly fascinating when you realize that loans in DeFi lending protocol have increased. When you combine this with the decline in Ethereum dominance, it suggests that these specular crypto investors are borrowing against their Ethereum to buy alt. And there is on-chain evidence. One of these all the DeFi regions have been accumulating its chain link in token. This is almost certain due to the release of Oracle. Without getting too technical, CCIP make it easier for cryptocurrency to interact mainly those that use the Ethereum virtual machine or EVM. Not only that, but the CCIP make it possible for cryptocurrency blockchain to connect to the messaging system used by almost every major bank to send money around the world. Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov hopes it will make it possible to bring more real-world assets on chain. Now, there's no question that it will be. There is a question of whether regulator will allow it. After all, regulators around the world will be nervous about the prospect of crypto being connected to the financial system in anywhere. Chainlink CCIP could let for make a orca positional target. Anyway, speculation aside, CCIP could mean that Ethereum ecosystem is about to expand in a big way, and the recent release on Neon is just icing on the cake. Of those unfamiliar, Neon is EVM layer on Solana, Angular to Aurora or Neo Protocol, which has been significant. What's funny is Neon website is initially noted that it will be capable to processing 4,500 transactions per second, which will make in the fastest EVM implementation. However, you can also trade on the TrueScape platform. Uh, in that case, only fat 2000 TBS, which is fast. Obviously, in any case, the release of Neon is given to be an interesting test on determining whether Ethereum were region supreme or not because of Solana itself use a different virtual machine for a smart contract. If Neon more adoption than Solana, then it will be clear sign. Chances are that Ethereum will, which is why it is odd that some of Ethereum holder have been transferring to their Bitcoin to a exchange lately. Just last week, an address participated in the Ethereum ICO and hadn't touched his Ether in 8 years, sent its entire stack, 61K, it worth $160 million to Kraken. Now, some of you might recall that one of Ethereum co-founder had also sent around 20 of his ETH holding into Kraken early last month. FYI, when will send larger amounts of crypto exchange, this typically signal an intention to sell. Otherwise, why would they be sending the crypto to exchange? And this begs the question why ETH price hasn't crashed, given all these whale transfer to exchange. The answer is probably to ETH whale haven't sold their entire stack just yet. Given the information low liquidity in the crypto market, they are probably offloading slowly over the time. This wouldn't be surprising considering that Bitcoin miners are reportedly doing the same with BTC. Fun fact is believed that the reason why BTC has been stuck around 30K is because of selling pressure for Bitcoin miners. At the same time, someone just been buying just under 30K, hence the price action. So given this fact, it's possible that Ethereum and Bitcoin whales are in the process of distribution, aka taking profit. If this in that case, then it's quite bearish because it suggests that crypto price may not go much higher than here in the short to medium term. Otherwise, why will this whale be selling now? Speaking of whales, it's long been believed that citizens of the Gulf country will become some of the biggest crypto whale, or once a reasonable regulation have been passed. Although there has in fact been a lot of progress on the front, there is one Gulf country will be adopting crypto kiwi. It will be completely banned cryptocurrency in the trading, mining, and payment, you name it. Regulators cited compliance with the Financial Action Task Force or up.As recommendation as being one of the primary reasons for the crypto bank. So This is something we have been warning about for a long time, and it was something that was confirmed back in May when the Pakistani minister revealed that the banning crypto forever was one of the further conditions for taking the country off. As you might have guessed, the FedEx has denied this. And it's a much bigger deal than you think before the money reason. For starter, Kiray crypto crackdown has likely surged, which slow or stop in crypto adoption. More importantly, the FATF certain the QA regulators city related to terrorist financing. Last week, top performing crypto were Synfin, aka XTC Network, Chainlink, Stellar, and MakerDAO, and Tonicoin. Starting with Zinfin, appear have pumped in reason to crypto project attendance at the recent Ethereum CC conference in Paris in response to announcement that high population will be extended to the first STC conference in August. Few XTC confirmed in August to be appear to significant zone resistance of 55 cents. So it is too soon to say if can break above. I will also caution the ADC doesn't seem that I have been very wide a chain support nor very much. Come to think of it, another a chain listing could be bullish. Next up we have Chainlink, and you will recall that it is link token respond CCIP. This has been to a NetGet link to bounce again the top band of Bollinger band of the weekly, but I squeeze to the upside it has occurred. It's possible with this is what the whales are waiting for. As for Stellar meanwhile, this XML coin appeared to have continued pumping in response to the really in the XTC's case. This makes sense to the considering to the HRB and the HLM technically similar. It appears that HLM received a second win, possibly HRB holder who wanted to get in another rally. Unlike Link, HLM squeezing up a weekly. The catch is that it seems to be bouncing of the Bollinger Band moving and monthly. The moving average is the most significant. Almost every coin entered has been failed to get over the monthly moving average, including BTC. It's a similar story with MakerDAO, who has an NKR token to appear have pumped in response to buyback mechanism implanted by protocol. That's what I say. This will foreshadow a similar proposal being passed by other DeFi protocol, assuming like XLM and MKR is squeezing up on the weekly, but got rejected by the Bollinger Band moving average on monthly. MakerDAO buyback could be enough to get it back about the monthly moving average, but this could take, well, months. Again, that assumes that the SEC doesn't try and crack down as a result. And finally, we have Toncoin. TAN appears strong in recent development, including in app payment, crypto, and an encrypted chain messaging feature. Flash TAN coin is used to buy Telegram, the messaging service with over 800 million monthly users. That's why it's strange that TAN has even less exchange support than the next HTC. TAN's price session has also been firmly. It is impossible to could be there could be some insider selling to going on, but more adoption of TAN coin has been lacking as a result of the crypto. And as always, if you want to get this rarely update in real time, or if you want to trade, you can also trade on the 2SK platform. So this is about the news, what is happening around the trading. So we are going for now. We're going to talk about the Ethereum. So we're gonna update about got a bearish breakout through 8080, which yesterday is still set. That if we will break that, we will at least drop down to the 1840 and 35 level. So that was what we'll talk about today. I still think that. Did I really think that? And but upon for that, we also will a little bit talk about next week. We have an interest rate decision on Wednesday, so we will talk about that. I have I have a pretty clear opinion on that. Whether they're that correct or not, we'll see in the end, right? And I tell you about then I will tell you why I have that bullish opinion on the outcome of rate the decision. But but yeah, that's what we talk about. Right, so that you're hopefully optionally prepare for next week. Before that though, you might have heard this before that I want to grab your attention quickly to grab a project I have partnered with this the 2SK. Yesterday I said that if we break down below 8075, then it will drop down to 8040 and then will be bearish. But now, I mean, if you zoom out a little bit more, we're still in a consolidating range, alright, where perhaps not anymore in the same range as we are having yesterday, but we are definitely on that the bearish. And then apart from that, we have to talk about fundamental. Now, apart from that, my expectation for this week, for the opening week, is actually quite bullish and partly due to join the market we have seen. We were bullish, but there is also partially because of the interest are coming. I think the general conference are actually bullish, and because if you take a look at this economic event on the last couple of weeks, was also those toward the interest rate being more negative. And this case, I actually think that no negative result is positive. All right. So other interest and rate decision itself just going to add 40.5, and they will say that same thing that they said at last press conference. But I do think that the reaction of the market to the will be actually be bullish. So on the short term, I might expect liquidity grab still down 80.45 or 80.30, and I think we will hold that, and I think from that we can actually break back above 1818 to get up toward 90 or 10 or 90.20 again tomorrow. I mean, I don't think we will we easily break through 90-20. That's something we talk about tomorrow, but I don't think the most likely, the most likely scenario is a little bit more on the short term. We can actually get the push up, and I think there is actually a very good chance that will. I think there is a good chance, like I said, mainly because of the interest rate, and I mean the general direction of the market is still go up, right? And so even though we have been quite bearish for the last few week, general direction still. So those are my main takeaways and my main thoughts on Ethereum for now, and what I expect in terms of fundamental and price movements. If you do and you have question, if you just want to discuss it, if you have any question about grave as well, you can comment in the comment section. So we have we can see the same and exchange situation that a wave or likely top here at around 2030 on the 4th on July down in wave 2. Yesterday we had a little bit of volatility, a small rally, nothing that will have anyway though. Our outlook, a small adjustment now actually to the last and to the last. Yeah, I gave you the micro count, but it doesn't really change anything. It just sort of from an academic outlook, and the idea is obviously the wave on top here on 30 or 40 July. The idea coming down in ABC pullback, and the idea is the wave already bottomed on the Monday. The idea is the wave already bottomed on the Monday, the 17th of July, and a change. The idea is B wave already top on the 20th July. The unchained, even though the risk of higher P wave is not completely. It seems like also yesterday move up, also not even a B wave. So what could have happened was here a more complex. Yeah, B wave, a flag structure, and we then come down in the wave. But as I said to you before, as long as we don't break a situation above 1918, yeah, which was our first resistance level, I don't need to assume we are in a high B wave. Even if we break above that level, that would just be correctly ready, and the lower low will still be assumed afterwards. So nothing has changed really. And yesterday move was really very very little clean consequent overall, and I highlighted to anyway it needed to be a three-story. It need to be a five-way more to the upside followed by a three-way pullback, so that we can really say okay, it has bottom here, but we haven't got a fight wave and fat with what is very clear already to the channel. It is very clear. I mean, everybody, you don't even need to be able to count. Elite was very proved and very proficient. But this is a very clear move, so anybody can see that. So just tell you that this is not certainly not yet a breakout attempt. It was an attempt but failed miserably. But an idea was I take a look of the chart and for some reason actually, but we have this trend line. We said look like maybe we're going to see an action to the trend line. So don't get overly optimistic. Well, about the trend line, and yeah, it was only a lease on the trend line. So counting and chain, the only thing I have changed, I have moved the move wave to circle wave because what I think, even though I had a yesterday, the entire move down is diagonal stretcher and to work here, okay, and then I said okay, maybe the third wave as full as an ABC, but that B wave will have been is a bit high to be reliable, so I continue to see here. So here as basically just our way through and continue to see it has impossible non-side, but what I think might have happened, and anyway, every wave and this all actually it need to be a W and XY. Here, let me just, you can see that. And overly my confident about in this wave, a count no is other count I gave you yesterday. I just thinking, let's just keep it like that and see what happened. And certainly against yesterday's swing high at 9 and at 19 of at 19 at 1905, that will still do a very fancy high B wave, and the risk is not gone because B wave can be extremely difficult. They can trick you out. They can overshot with the downstay. The idea is along we say below in 1980 that will be already in that C wave down. Now based on yesterday high, we can calculate the target from the third wave. Wave again, have to revise it a little bit, and then we look a bit for the 1.68. That's now 1823. Dot to our dash line to the. That's pretty much very close to the 50% of tracement at 8028. So we have a bit a little overlap between extension level and retracement level. That's why omega so on. Let's see. It actually be the target for third weight. Actually, in the phase weight, that we pay attention to that and can specify it a little bit further. The closer we look, then we got 70, 18, 1 as a support and 70, 100 basically. And sustain breakaway below 70, 100 will make me change my higher level or so much. And somewhere from here, the idea is started a third week rally, but the condition has is $1,700 level. That's whole. Yeah, okay. This is about Ethereum, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin news. And structure we assume that has already taken in place. If I wave here on the 18th July, and the big wave in the top three wave, and then ABC structure by the way, subway, and top actually here on 24/9, and we're now in this C wave to the downside, and the C wave to the downside halfway proved. Until yesterday, the idea was convenient to the already took here, but it will reset the way overnight. But that had very little bit overall pattern, and scenery still very much affected. Anyway, because that it highlight to you that as long as we stay below the 78.6 retracement, see sustained break above to 240, and it was a brief break sustain or close the 1 hour candle above it. As you can see here, there's 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, and until we see that sustain break, we can't assume that we are in a wave 2. So it always makes sense and not to change counts too quickly and change estimation too quickly because you have a brief break or retracement is always is worthy to wait sustain break before coming. But even in the case of a break of imminent resistance, it would just has been and a higher big wave rally step. So the idea is anyway, just to correct rally, okay, either wave or a rather strong break rally, but in both cases, I want to be assumed that we are we're eventually coming down into the support zone, and then targets here. I have to adjust those targets that they gave earlier. We restarted the waves to, so is it likely to be changed? We take a look at that now, but it should be a 5 wave move down. So the next cell on the wave is C. Let's see if we finally got. I don't forget we have a strong support band here, somewhere around that 29,600 area. So structural or support from previous test of the support level. So we need to break below that we anyway first. There are some points to be in yellow support area, which for Bernie support as 29,140 or 28,300, 27,460. If we go even below the last bullish support I have, the reliable is 2060 and 80. Okay, what can we expect if yesterday higher was indeed our wave today? By the way, anybody who's not familiar with this outlook, the idea is all of this is so-called it moved the really a really good reward to risk ratio. Take us up to the 40K. I'm of course a little less confident in this move that I was into the previous one that we hold over recent month because we're not just below, we're just below major resistance, major breakout point on the difficult to break, but then yeah, we have a really strong rally in my opinion. Even though I still think it will be a bit of a rocky run. Uh, and third way, so let's assume two top yesterday here we said basically at the maximum we take the link of the link one. Typical target for the wave or would be the 1.618 extension here. Here we talk about 28,084. Then we should get away, so less about the 1.68 extension to the chart. On the dash line, you can see that so channel members by all the way time have access to this level, where so you can see all the time we will get away from and the wave fight often time reach the 2.618 extension, but that is less reliable. It really depends on where exactly the wave. Yeah, but yeah, there is a certainly confluence and somewhere around 28.3K area around the 50 retracement. Okay, this is about the update. So we're going to talk about Ethereum news for now. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin. You can see right here what is happening in Bitcoin. First of all, starting on the 1 day Bitcoin chart right now, technically prices of Bitcoin still within the larger multi-month along the bullish trend that we have seen around the beginning of this year, because despite current short-term pullback, technically speaking the prices Bitcoin is still currently falling higher lows and higher highs when you're looking at this significant low and highs is on the larger time frame. And on top of that, the obviously super trend indicator right here is still currently sitting in the green, and the opposite to what we saw during all 2022. So obviously this is also indicating a larger bullish trend still currently play and has been at play since the beginning of this year. And now if you're looking at the larger cup and on the 4 day or 1 day of Bitcoin chart is all right now, as I mentioned recently on the channel, this joint pattern is not yet confirmed. Anyway, because in order to actually confirm this pattern, we will need to see to find to say strong confirm breakout well above the ideally weekly candle close. You can see there is a giant cup in the bullish to actually confirm this pattern. We will need to see a strong confirm breakout well above 31k, ideally weekly candle close above 31k, which as of right now which simply means this giant cup and handle pattern not in play. It is not currently active, as I have also said recently on the channel. In fact, if we see a further pullback here in the shorter term, this could potentially invalidate the pattern altogether, but at the same time as possible, we could also find a smaller cup into the pattern here in the shorter term, but obviously that will be need to see a rebound back up toward around 31,000 within the next 2 months. So if you look at to the daily Bitcoin, obviously over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we do have an active bearish divergence currently playing out on the daily time frame, which means we should not really be expecting any bullish momentum in the short term. Instead, like I've been saying, over the last 1.5 weeks or so, we're due to see either some choppy side price action in the short term, if not some sort of like bearish price action in the shorter term, which is exactly we have seen since the new bearish divergence confirmed. And once again, this is the type of price action that I continue to expect in the shorter term, as in at least talking about the coming days, because of right now, if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin RSI, obviously this is still trending to the downside, indicating that this bearish divergence is still currently active. And of course, I also mentioned a daily Bitcoin that is still currently looking at the more bearish than bullish. As of right now, the coins is right now, it is simply showing bearish momentum, but within that being said, it is not showing as much momentum compared to some of this previous movement, which basically means we shouldn't necessarily expect a massive crash straight to the downside. And instead, once again, we're likely going to see potentially some slight bearish price action. So in the short term, which is equal exactly has been playing out. And so now, just before zooming into the short term Bitcoin chart and talking about some important price. First of all, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and thumbs up to the live. And Bitcoin chart, and according to the live price of Bitcoin, is clearly breaking below this support line, which will sitting at well around 29.8k to 29.9k. And technically speaking, on the previous video, we have not yet confirmed 4-hour counter close below this support line, but we have actually confirmed a break below that support on, which we'll talk about just in a moment. But first, now that we are seeing a break to the downside that below this support line 8-hour chart, this means this potential previous bullish flag pattern is now potentially invalidating the formation phase for the pattern, because obviously this pattern was never been actually converted to begin with. So over and over again recently on the channel, we need to see a confirmed breakout well above the 31K, with ideally a weekly candle close above that resistance in order to confirm this pattern and confirm a breakup to the upside. But considering that did not actually happen, we are still within the formation phase, never been actually confirmed. But now we are actually invalidating altogether. My last video, now that we are seeing a break to the downside below the support line, this is not only invalidating this previous potential bullish flag pattern, we are also activating a new pattern in the short term, which if you look to the 2-hour Bitcoin, 1-day Bitcoin chart, as you can see here, right here, we have now activated a new bearish flag pattern, and here in the M&A short term, which once again I have been talking about over the last few days. And so once again, now that we are seeing a confirmed break below the support line, which to the day chart, find this support on the chart was sitting at around 29.7K. So now that that has happened, this is not just forming the pattern anymore. We have now confirmed that pattern, which confirmed a technical price target currently invalidating here to our Bitcoin chart, and the price target is approximately 28,500. And obviously, as of right now, the price of Bitcoin has already moved in decent distance and a breaking point, and the price target is technically speaking within only a web half and away and between break and the price target, because from the current Bitcoin price at the time of this slide, there's still around a 2% drop in the price of Bitcoin toward the price target, and the total size of the drop from the breaking point to the price target would have been around a 4% drop. And so once again, as of right now, we are simply have an active bearish price target in the short term, and obviously bearish momentum in the short term is currently stronger than the bullish momentum, also due to the bearish divergence playing on the daily time frame, which simply means at least in the short term, when you're looking at the smaller time frame, we're simply looking more bearish than bullish. And for resistance, in case we actually see a bounce back to the upside on this previously support, now resistance sitting at around 29.7K tonight. First of all, if that happens, that would be actually invalidating this bearish flag pattern. First of all, if that happened, that would be actually invalidate to bearish flag pattern. But in that case, we will still have resistance at around 30.4K. So overall, as of right now, for the Bitcoin, once again in the short term, we're looking more bearish than bullish. But in the longer term of the larger time frame, technically we're still looking more bullish than bearish. So what this means, that in the right now, in the setback or pullback, or basically a pause from the larger bullish trend, looking more bullish than bearish. What this means is that right now we're basically a setback or pullback, or basically pause from the larger bullish trend, kind of flag what we saw back here or back here, For example, obviously, it's actually possible to experience short-term bearish price action during a larger bullish trend, just like how it's possible to experience shorter term within a larger bearish trend. But anyway, now giving into the Ethereum part of this live. This is on the daily Ether to your chance, and right now the price of each is continuing the bulk below this previous ascending line of support, which was hitting around 1890. As I have mentioned over the last few days, the next level of support to pay attention to is actually this price range on the daily time frame, sitting in between around 1717 to 1820. But before that important price range, obviously we do have some short-term levels of support, which I will mention in just a moment. First of all, take a quick look to the Ethereum price oscillator on the daily time frame. Right now, the RSI is still looking relatively neutral, but it could potentially start flipping more bearish if we can confirm a newer lower high in place. We obviously set up a bearish trend, and if you look to the daily Ethereum MACD, this is right now also a potential starting to flip more bearish. But with that being said, as I of right now, it is technically still showing limited momentum in the short term compared to some of these previous movement. So which once again is mean we should not necessarily expect a massive quick crash in the price of it on the daily time frame, and instead we are likely going to see the either a slight pullback, kind of like what we have seen over the last few days, continue to play it out here in the short term, with potentially a little bit of choppy sideways price action in between the short term bearish price action, kind of like what we have seen over the last few days, over the last 1 week. And so now, zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 6-hour E to your dollar chart. Obviously, over the last 1 or 2 days, we have saw a perfect retest of the previous line of support, which is now acting as a new resistance once again at around 1819 to 1.9k, which I also warned about in my last video, saying that we should be expecting resistance around that area. And so now that we have been actually confirmed that level as a resistance and confirmed a retest, this is simply further confirmed that one to the downside and the short term bearish scenario. And so now that we all been looking more bearish than bullish in the shorter term, looking on the taking a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool from the swing low to swing high here on the 6-hour US dollar chart. First of all, we are now seeing a break below from this previous Fibonacci level at 70. So next I will be looking towards 50% of retracement level, sitting at around 1820 to 1830, which is close to the what we have seen a small bounce so far. But if we actually see a further confirmed break well below 1820, then in that case it's possible we could drop all the way golden pocket, sitting in between around 7060 to 7070. And as for short-term resistance, once again we should find some resistance at around this previous Fibonacci level at around 1870. Above that, we also have this previous level of support now acting as a new resistance in between 1890 to 1.9k. And now if you want this is about Ethereum. The prices are changing highs and low, so this is the time you should watch and how you should invest this or not. So get back. We're gonna talk about back to the Bitcoin again. It's playing out finally. We did get into this support line area, a decent wave degree, and not as large as, for an example, the wave degree here, and significant or on the 10th of March, but still on the decent wave degree, and we are currently on a wave 2 correction. Remember, and this, even though I'm short and still breathing, I don't think we complete the overall correction. I see this support area, which goes all the way down to the around 26,000. So that's really reliable bullish support, or the late bullish support I have here on the particular setup. Yes, this is the launch pad for a third wave rally. Again, there is no guarantee it will turn around here, and I emphasize very clearly that until we see the first 5 wave move up of this yellow support area. 3 wave pullback after that first move up, I will be able to confirm that a trend reversal has happened to the upside, and I will not be able to confirm that we already are in the third wave rally. So we deal with a situation in the market right here. It's all about either getting a good average price and scaling into the support area, or waiting for the first confirmation that the trend has shifted from the wave to 2 correction into a third wave rally. Now, the good thing about scaling in is that you can get the best average price should price turn around. Bad thing is it doesn't even turn around, you will lose money. Okay, but that's trading, that's reality. But if you manage your position side well while scaling in, you should be able, you should be okay, and the risk this run is minor, and your potential loss can be capped very well. If you have your position sizing spot on the Y scaling in, and if you manage your capital very well, and that's the benefit of scaling in support. Now again, you can lose money, of course, because you're basically trying to catch the falling knife. Now you're just not doing that I am stupid way. You're basically using Fibonacci level. You're using the context of this chart, which tell us we have a 5 move up, and based on the probability suggests that the 78.6 retracement level should hold. Okay, that the advantage of waiting for a first 5 wave move up and 3 move down. This is after you can rally. If you do well, you have confirmation that the trend is turning around, so you are not really catching the knife. Bad thing is about waiting for confirmation to the upside before entering anything. The bad thing, is, in my opinion, is that typically in crypto, I mean, if we go higher, it would be a third wave rally, and in fact, it will be a third wave that's typically a very bullish move, and it can be happen very quick setback, maybe might be shallow. So you could be surprised. So that the balance and that the decision every trader deals with. So it's all about, okay, do I catch the falling knife? Do I wait for confirmation? I'm thinking a person of that. I do scaling on the way down, and I know where the lever is, where probabilities are shifting back to the more bearish outcome, which is down here, 78.6 retracement. So I do scaling, but only with a certain percentage of what I dedicate for this position, and well, then with and buying more until we have a confirmed trend reversal. So it is basically a mix of getting the best average price while also managing your risk. Okay. Yeah, but that's all about strategy and tactic, and just want to talk about a bit about that. And we haven't got a new development on the chart really. Price is not consulting, but if you wanna find a more about trading strategy, how to trade with. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the videos a thumbs up. Uh, get back into the chart, or we can see I most likely we are in this third wave to the downside, and the A wave or the wave 2 likely bottom already on the 18th of July. The bottom already on the 18th July. That 20th of July is likely in the C wave, as explained in previous video. Now at the moment I have no strong indication that this third wave has even bottomed, even though it reached the target that I gave you in my first video live in the past, 1.618 extension. And to be honest, if the third wave doesn't extend much more, than it will be unlikely to max out the support area. If we get a very strong extension in the third wave, the third wave might come down to the 50 flip level, maybe even the golden ratio. Then yeah, then I think we're likely going to see the 78.6 flip level down here. If we not get this full weight shortly here and pull back, and then I think I'm looking primarily for the area around 28k or a target here on the C wave of wave 2 before then can I turn around at the moment. No one indicating is just bottom 2, but I haven't even got it a confirmation that the third wave circle wave on 3 has bottom. So we need to be a bit more patient. I do see however some early signal that might be shift, and there we are bottoming process. Always like remember that bottoming is a process, but for example the future price, they start to close the spread between spots and future. That's just one of the signal observing additional to the daily RSI, which has come down nicely, but in my opinion, no low enough on the daily to really confirm or indicate at least a lasting lower in place. For example, here the MAC is still increasing, and the daily RSI, while is low now around 1.4, is not yet where I want it. I would like to have it closer to 35 to 30 to indicate yeah, that we are really good. We have a really good chance of turning around. A few people asked me about the weekly RSI on turning bearish. I mean, it's still in the bullish range, so beside that, so this is the week chart of the Ethereum, Bitcoin. I have a on Ethereum that we'll see right here. I'm gonna tell you why I have the bullish opinion in the outcome. I have a little bit of think about Ethereum. So we're gonna talk about it right now. So you're hopefully optional on Propel. Like centralized A chain already has picked up a lot of hype and a lot of interested in that, and consider by you definitely don't have a to bet, but I bought some. I think it is an opportunity, but now into it. Yesterday, it is. I mean, I'm not sure if we actually broke market structure because yesterday I said that if we break down below 1875, then we will drop down 1840. Will be bearish. But now, I mean, if you zoom out a little bit more, I mean, we're still in the consulting range, all right? Where perhaps no, not anymore in the same consulting range as we were yesterday, but we definitely aren't that bearish. And now that apart from that, we have to talk about fundamental now. Apart from that, my expectation for this week, opening of this week, and essentially quite bullish. Partially due to the market, that most of the openings setting we have seen over bullish. So, but that's also a interest coming. I think the general reaction is expectation of a conference are actually bullish because if you take a look at the most of the economic event on the last couple of weeks, the most of those doesn't point toward the interest or negative. So in that case, I actually think that no negative result is positive. All right, I don't think it's going to be a positive at all. The interest rate decision is how it's just going up to the 5.5. That's what I think. But I do think that the reaction of the market to that will actually to be bullish. So on the short term, I might expect a liquidity grab still down to the 845 and 8030, but I think we will hold that. I think from the where we can actually break back about 8080, get up toward 90 or 9020 again, and then tomorrow, I mean, I don't think we'll easily break through 9020. That's something we'll talk about tomorrow, but I don't think most likely scenario is a little bit more on the short term. So that got push up, and I think there's an actually good chance to be break up the 1920, the rally up higher. I think there's a good chance to make an interest and rate. I mean, generally direction of the market is still up right now. So even though we have quite bearish for the last week, so general direction. So those are my main takeaway and my main thoughts on the Ethereum for now. And what I expected in terms of fundamental price movement. If you don't have any question, if you want to discuss, you have great as well. Check on the link in description. So I try to do every live. So talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin every day. So thank you for watching my live. Take care and